Hey everyone, in this video we're meeting a family of 6 that's living in a shed. In just 2 years, Kelly and Beau sold their house in the suburbs, bought 7 acres of raw land, started a permaculture homestead, and transformed a 16 by 48 foot shed into a beautiful functional home where they live, work online, homeschool their kids, and run the farm. Their goal is to be debt-free in their 30s, so they've spaced out each building project to avoid financing and stay out of debt. In this video, they're going to give us a full tour of their home, talk about the building process, and why they chose to convert a shed into a house. So let's go meet up with them and find out more.
In the last 2 years, we've sold our house in the Houston suburbs to move to Central Texas. We took a shed and converted it into a home that we live in with our 4 children who are ages 9 and under. And the square footage was literally reduced by half. So we went from 2,000 square feet to less than 1,000, and we gained 7 acres. We're really following some permaculture principles so that we can create everything from a food forest to raising our own animals. Our garden is now growing. We'd like to be growing about 80% of our own food. So those are our goals in the next few years, to be debt-free in our 30s and be raising most of our food and our humans on this 7 acres.
Our shed to house adventure really started back whenever we first realized that our kids were so much happier outside. And we just knew that we wanted to start this adventure of finding land and growing our own food. And so we knew that we needed some kind of alternative, different house to be able to live in. I was just driving down the road and I saw this lot with these structures on there. It looked like these little shed barns. And then I went to go tour this lot and they actually finished them out.
Right.
And that allowed us to see the possibility that, hey, you can make one of these structures amazing. They bring the exterior of the house and drop it on your property. So if you didn't have all the construction skills, this gives you that jump start. All right, we'll show you our shed to house.
I think the kitchen is where most people spend a bulk of their time when they're at home, so we designed this kind of around our family. We went really easy route and just picked a floor plan out at IKEA that worked for us. And in a small house with a big family, I think the large appliances were really the way to go. It saved us a lot of time and stress. And we made it a 2-butt kitchen. So like 2 people can stand in here and move either way, even if the dishwasher's open. Project-wise, little pieces at a time have kept us on our goal to be debt-free in our 30s. We didn't want to finance a whole house or even a whole kitchen. So we put in the cabinets first and then the countertops. And finally, this was like a lifesaver because once we had counters, everything just piled up. And open shelving was really cost effective and really simple to install on our own. It is a little bit dustier than normal, but I figure if that's the worst thing that happens, it's not so bad. So we needed more storage, and instead of just a kitchen table here with chairs, we went ahead and made an island out of 1 cabinet from Home Depot. It was so simple that it just made sense. We could get it in quickly and then it would do the jobs that we needed it to do. So this is a temporary top, and then there'll be a leaf that comes up, because right now we can fit 4 here. When we flip up the leaf, we'll be able to fit about 4 more people. So everything from meals being prepared and just gathering around for a good conversation happens here, or we turn that way and it happens in our living room. So everything from schooling to crafting to a lot of dance parties happen right here in this space.
I knew that we weren't going to want a TV, but I knew that I wanted movies. And so we came up with a plan to be able to have a projector and then the projector screen. So this guy just pulls down. It's super fun just to be able to all sit here. We have 4 kids, so 6 of us all fit in here. and it's just a nice little cozy spot every week for movies.
One space we haven't designed yet is our office. So this is a secretary's desk. It folds down. It holds a lot of our school curriculum and then some little things that we use for our business. And we just sit here and work. Kids go upstairs, they play outside. This is our mini office for now. Designing the space though, we really took advantage of the height in the main area because it can feel very cramped when you have lofts. So the lofts are on either side of the building and then wide open in the middle where our kitchen and living space is. So we took shiplap to the ceiling, and that way we could go through the trusses and still hit the peak of the ceiling and feel open and very airy. We have a boys loft and a girls loft because yeah, there's a whole lot of kids in here. But the way we designed it was as simply as we could, projecting how they would grow and what they'd be interested in. So we built lofts with kind of like private space, but no doors, and they're kind of cool with that. On this side is the girls loft, and eventually this project will be complete. There'll be a door on either side, barn doors that slide and meet in the middle, and they'll cover this whole opening space. That way there's more privacy for the girls, and it's a little bit quieter for us when they go to bed at night. I've gotten a lot of flack for this bathroom, and it's because it's so large. It takes up a huge footprint in the house, but it's our only bathroom for now. We do have another one that's in the works right now. This is our main bathroom. For 6 humans, I really feel like this is a good use of space. We have a full-size tub. The floor we tiled. I did this all by myself. And quite frankly, I'll say it could have been worse. Sink's my favorite. It's from IKEA, and I love it because it's got these double faucets. The cabinet is really wide also. I wanted as many pocket doors as we could have in this house because they're great space savers, and they make your house feel like there's more space than if you have something that's cutting off half of your walkway every time you try to open it. Not everybody gets a closet in a small home, but we needed one because this is the only closet in the house for all of us. So winter clothes go in here. This was key to storage and keeping things out of the elements off the porches. Another thing that we learned moving into a small space was that storage was critical. So yes, we had the closet, but we figured that bed frames were a huge waste of space once we found this bed frame that is designed to just hold your mattress and then huge space underneath for storage.
So it is a bed frame without a box spring. So yeah, we have 17 inches here. Like you can fit a full-size bin right here. I get really excited talking about this bed frame, and it's comfy. Like we never notice anything different, and you can just get these things online. They're not hard to find. So a lot of people ask us, how do we heat and cool our shed to house? It is with 4 of these Mr. Cool units. We also have spray foam insulation in here, even with our big overhang front and back porches. Once you hit 101 degrees in the summer, it's gonna get hot. A lot of people ask why don't you have solar? Why are you not off grid? It's slightly different here in Texas. It's so hot here, and electricity is really, really cheap. At the moment, it's not cost efficient to have solar yet. So we chose to put our laundry room on our back deck. And this is it right here. It's actually bigger than our laundry room was in suburbia.
Building it on the back deck was the best choice because inside it's like precious square footage and it still works great. Like we just come out, we do our laundry out, kind of like if you had it in the garage.
Here is our 5,000 gallons of rainwater catchment, and these tanks are full. We just now put these in February of 2020 of this year, and they're already full with the spring rain. They're not piped into our house at the moment. I think maybe someday we might think of doing that, but right now we're using it for our garden and for our animals, and it's just feels good to have that much like emergency water if we ever need it.
And we're going into our second summer, and we know just how dry it gets. This is like peace of mind, feeling really prepared and grateful that we had this time to get that much water stored up.
We really did not have any troubles with building codes, municipalities, because we did the work before we bought the property. I was on the phone with the county, with the city, everything. And then for our county, it doesn't have any building codes. And a lot of people say, how do you find that county? You're just gonna have to pick up the phone and start calling for the areas that you're looking for. We did have to have a permit for our septic, but that's very common.
Our end goal was to live in a house that was comfortable and to be debt-free in our 30s. So it made shed to house a really simple decision. And yet there are a lot of things that are very costly in building on raw land. So this included our choice for septic, our choice to be on grid with electric and co-op water, our choice to have very large decks. So yes, all of these things do add up and they are costly. However, even after 2 years, we're spending less living here in our converted shed than we were in the suburbs.
It's the finishing out that is going to separate whether someone thinks that it is expensive or cheaper. You're gonna save money if you do it yourself. We averaged out our cost to be able to have a cheaper house without a mortgage on this actual house by slowing down the project. There are a few things that we would do differently if we had to do them again. My number one would be have a better foundation for the house. Right now we're just on blocks and it's okay, but it would have made me feel a little bit better if we had real pier and beams.
Being web-based for our income makes a big difference in our life and our ability to live here without fear of how quickly do we produce things for sale and feeling overwhelmed. Because I would feel, as a mom of 4 small kids, overwhelmed really easily if we had moved to raw property like we did and from the ground up have to produce market garden right away. The idea of making money off the property is certainly there. It'll just be further down the line. Probably in the next 5 years, we'll be creating some sort of income that profits.
I did want to be able to help people out, so whenever we started the Facebook group Shed to House, we also started documenting everything on our YouTube channels. You see everything of us getting rabbits, of us, trying to grow a garden, of us having our 4th child, building this shed, like building everything. It's nice to be able to have those videos to look back and be like, wow, look how much we've accomplished.
If you could tick off every box, the shed to house just made sense. So it was the decision that kind of shook us for a little while, like, are we really gonna live in a shed? And then we took the leap, and now it's one of the best decisions we've ever made.
You can follow Beau and Kelly on YouTube at Better Together Life. I'll link to it in the description below. Also be sure to subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and check out our playlists for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.